desert's bare, man. Out through the mountain air, and then I travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Windsor, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Ottawa, Lopaloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tucapara, Bangola, and Padilla. I've been everywhere. Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, I want some jambalaya. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see my Masher Neo. Big guitar, fill fruit jar, and big A-O. Son of the gun are gonna have you fun on the bio. Viva do fun new, the place is buzzing. Kinfolk come to see Leon by the dozen. Dress in style, go hog wild, me oh my oh. Son of a gun, we're gonna have big fun on the bio. Let's take this on to Tennessee. If I could only learn to yodel and go lay-tee. It's easy, they say, just go yodel D-A with a yodel-o-tee, yodel-a-tee. Yodel-a-lo-tee, yodel-a-tee-a. Howdy-yodel-a, yodel-a, yodel-o-tee, yodel-a-lo-tee, yodel-a-tee-a. Howdy-yodel-a-tee. What a show-off. Yodel-a-lo-tee, yodel-a-tee-a. Howdy-yodel-a, yodel-a, yodel-o-tee, yodel-a-lo-tee, yodel-a-tee-a. Howdy-yodel-a-tee.
Wow. Yay! Wow. I don't believe you're real, and I don't know which one of you to talk to. Elise Edie, current Miss Arkansas, first runner-up in the 2000 Miss America pageant, and a real person. I am so astonishingly happy to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, too.
Okay. Let's just get right to it.
Okay.
How did you learn to do this, and why did you learn to do this?
That's a really good question, and I get that a lot. I actually started doing ventriloquism when I was 9 years old, and I must have been a strange kid. Something wasn't quite right for me to be that interested in it, but I loved it. It was different, and it caught my attention.
How did you even know that ventriloquism was an option for you? At 9, I'm not sure I knew.
I saw a girl do it, and it just captured me. So I went to the library and checked out books and watched old tapes, old Sherry Lewis tapes, and I taught myself to be a ventriloquist.
That is amazing. And is it a straight line from learning to be a ventriloquist to learning to be a ventriloquist yodeler? I mean, did that just emerge organically?
Actually, the very first song I ever did as a ventriloquist was I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart. Okay. And so I learned to do ventriloquism and yodel together, which I think kind of made it a little bit easier.
Is it harder to yodel without people telling that it's you producing the sound than it is to sing or speak? Like, is it harder to disguise the? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm using the wrong terms. Is it harder to not move your lips while yodeling than it is to while you talk or otherwise sing?
I'm so used to it now that it's pretty much the same for both. It's pretty easy for me to do both now.
Wow. So if you started doing it when you were 9, and if it's sort of easy, what's the next challenge for you? Like, what do you want? Is there something else that you're going to add to this to make it harder?
I need another hand, another arm, so I can have 3 puppets, I guess.
That would be perfect. Actually, when you were Miss Teen Arkansas, before you were Miss Arkansas, you had 2 puppets and the singing and the yodeling and the clogging.
And the clogging.
Do we have a clip of the clogging?
Uh-oh.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Come on, everybody, put your hands together and have a good old time.
What happened to the clogs? You hate that. Most people would look at that and say, oh my God, look at how amazing I was, but you're horrified by seeing yourself that way.
Let me tell you why. That's because I really don't know how to clog. Big secret. Someone taught me how to do that clogging routine for that song. So if you were to ask me to put my clogging shoes on and do a little shuffle, I wouldn't know what to do.
You could do that one song again.
I can do that one song. That's it.
All right. Meeting you and even just seeing what you did at the pageant, which not only went viral online, but people are still talking about this long after the pageant. It made me feel bad about being snarky and cynical about beauty pageants. Is there a cure? Are you the cure for cynicism and snarkiness about beauty pageants?
Absolutely. And you know what? That makes me really happy to hear you say that. Yeah. I think what's really important to remember in all this is that it is about the scholarships. And the Miss America organization is the world's leading provider of scholarships for women. And personally, I received $22,000 for Miss Arkansas and then $25,000 for getting first runner-up at Miss America. So that's a lot of money to work with. And people can say what they want about pageants, but because of pageants, I'm going to be able to get my master's degree.
Well, which makes me very happy. I mean, I am still unnerved by the fact that the leading the leading organization for giving college scholarships is something in which you have to qualify in part based on your looks. I mean, it's hard to think of ourselves as a meritocratic country when you don't really have much control over your looks other than, you know, being in good shape and all of those things.
I understand that. There's just so many other aspects of it, like having a platform, mine, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, that it encourages you to work with. And so while, you know, it's easy to look at it and say it's just a beauty pageant, it's so much more than that.
Well, clearly. I mean, it's
I have dummies. Come on. What else do you want?
Can I just ask you another thing about, can I see her?
You may.
I mean, I don't want to touch her. No, I mean, can she come to the interview?
Yes.
Does she have a name?
This is Rosie.
Rosie. And how long have you had Rosie?
I've had Rosie since I was in high school. I had her made, especially just for me.
Really?
Yeah. I had to design her.
She's blinking at me. Do you get people have scary reaction to it? Like some people like clowns and ventriloquist dummies or some of the things that people have decided are scary instead of just neat?
It's happened. In the movies that have come out, you know, with the scary Chucky dolls, that doesn't help. But I think most people are pretty accepting of it.
I was trying so hard not to say Chucky. I'm glad that you did, but she's lovely.
I just threw that out there.
Elise Eady, one last question for you. You were the first runner-up in the pageant, which is a big accomplishment in its own right. And I know that you've done a lot of media. We were able to get you to come to New York to talk to me about this, which I'm really grateful for. How has the reception that your performance in the pageant, the reception that has had, how has that changed your prospects in terms of what you think happens next for you?
I never imagined that I'd be doing ventriloquism after my year as Miss Arkansas was over and after the Miss America pageant. But so many doors have opened. And on a side note, people told me not to do ventriloquism because people would think it was weird and they wouldn't get it. And I'm so glad that I didn't listen to them.
Oh, yeah.
Because I never would have had these opportunities if I had been afraid to shine. But just excited about opportunities coming up, and I've been contacted by a lot of places. And so this has all just been really a dream come true for me.
You know, I will be totally blunt with you. I think it is kind of weird, and I think that most of the great things in life are kind of weird. And if we didn't do weird stuff, and if we didn't do stuff in particular that people are going to think is weird, we all did the same thing, life would be really boring. And I feel so uncynically cool about you being a big deal because you have this amazing talent, and it's just great to meet you.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah. Good luck, Elise. Thanks.
Thank you.
Miss Arkansas, Elise Eady. This is such a good job.